It's the nation's favourite antiques experts.
Yes, a good weight.
And it smells.
Oh, steady, behind the wheel of a classic car.
Good morning, my lady.
Good morning, Parker.
And a goal to scar Britain for antiques. Whoopsie.
Come on.
The aim to make the biggest profit at auction. But it's no mean feat. There'll be worthy winners.
And valiant losers.
Will it be the high road to glory?
It's about winning.
Or the low road to disaster? Pop, pop. This is the Antiques Road Trip. Yeah, baby. Buckle up. We're back on the B roads of Britain with antique experts Charles Hanson and Christina Trevanian.
Turn the roof down.
No.
Let me do it now for you.
No. Charlie, I haven't spent 20 minutes this morning doing my hair to put the roof down. Don't be silly. No, stop it.
sorry, okay.
Stop it. What are you doing? Charlie!
Put the roof down? Huh. It'll blow off what little hair you have left, Carlos. Today, this delightful duo are road tripping around Yorkshire in a vintage vroom vroom from the US of A, a 1969 left-hand drive Fiat Spider.
I think the car's working hard. It's time for us to work hard now.
No, but this feels exactly how we're actually doing at the moment.
We're still
It's an
fine.
uphill slog.
Profits, though, are on a downward slide. Charles's little piggy is on the lean side. He made a total loss of over £80 and has £111.52p to spend. Christina, despite making a whopping £100 profit on the first leg, lost it all and more at the second auction. She's still in the lead, though, with just over £154.
We need a profit revolution. Because we've been hit.
Yeah, we do.
We've been hit by serious recession. You know, before we know it, the tyres will be off this car.
Yeah.
We'll be selling the car.
Yeah.
Well, desperate times call for desperate measures, but hands off the motor, eh? You'll need it to complete your epic coast-to-coast journey. It began in Lancashire and Cumbria and will take in the historic county of Yorkshire, Wales and the Midlands, ending up at a final auction in Newcastle upon Tyne. This leg of our trip will finish in Bedale. But we kick things off in Cleckheaton, where Christina has dropped off Charles. Did you know that right here is the hometown of the midget Gem Sweetie? Look at my sweet-toothed friend run at the thought of a fruity-flavoured gum. Cleckheaton is also home to Terrier Antiques, owned by Pete. Will there be a hidden gem in here?
Your name is?
I'm Pete.
Hi, Pete. I love this shop of yours.
Thank you.
Well, Mags, has much just come in at all?
There's a lovely set of lustres just come through the door.
Really? Oh, really?
Careful now, Charles.
We say if objects could talk.
This one would be saying, "Put me down!"
I'm going to put them back very carefully, Pete. Very carefully. And breathe. Hello, doggy. Hello, what's your name? I think you're a pug. That's quite sweet.
Ah, it's puppy love.
A Japanese pug. Wood carving with glass eyes. It's very well carved. So you can just see where hands over the years have palmed it, have warmed it, have stroked it. The reason I like it is because it's probably Japanese from the Meiji period, which takes us back pre-1912. It's got a good tactile feel about it. And of course, such culture in Japan was also making objects for the West. So I would say it's almost certainly 19th century. How much could it be out of interest? It's priced £22.
To you today, 16.
Really?
But is this bark worth its bite at £16? Christina also needs to keep an eye on the bottom line if she's going to win the day at auction.
I have massively got my work cut out. I've got £150, lots of things to buy, and some profits to find. Oh.
Christina's first shop is in the village of Cullingworth. This antique shop is based in a vast former wool mill. They have over 12,000 square feet jam-packed full of collectibles. She's going to be fagged out. Poor love.
Oh, that's cool. Look at that. Oh, what's even better is I like the price tag. £28, carved peacock table. I mean, this is a very lovely Anglo-Indian table, 19th century, on these wonderful scroll carved legs. And then you've got the top here, which has got this wonderful peacock, kind of with outstretched wings and spreading out his beautiful peacock's tail. It's just very exotic. But what worries me is that, am I buying the right things for the right auction? Because clearly in the last auction I bought completely the wrong things. I had absolutely failed to prepare.
In this antiques game, you've always got to bear in mind your audience when you go to auction. In Cleckheaton,
Aye, in Yorkshire we like tea, don't we?
We certainly do.
In Yorkshire we like tea.
he does spout nonsense sometimes, but on this occasion he knows what he's talking about.
A 19th century Chinese export bullet-shaped teapot. What's lovely, in the times of the 19th century, so highly prized was Oriental porcelain that the family wouldn't have thrown it away, so they put this replacement spout onto the actual porcelain spout when it got damaged. So maybe an overly keen butler or lady housekeeper could have damaged the spout, and this fairly innocuous little tin spout's been a replacement. You can see just some of the enamelling and gilt work under there as well. How much could that be?
That could be 18.
Really? I like that a lot. £18, OK? I'll mental note it, Pete. Put it back.
Back in Cullingworth, Christina is on the blower to the Bedale auctioneers.
And I was just wondering whether you might be able to tell me roughly what sort of sells well at your auction house.
She wants the inside track on the local market. Clever.
What about peacock carved tables? Any market for them?
Whatever the auctioneer said, she likes it.
Well, he seemed to think peacock carved tables might sell quite well.
You believe that, you'll believe anything. With a ticket price of £28, the peacock table isn't a bird in the hand just yet. Especially when there's so much more to explore. Don't peek early, just peek about.
Look at that. Old brass copper trivet pan stand, £15. Look at that. Isn't that cute? This is a 19th century brass trivet or pan stand that you would have had by your fireplace, and obviously you would put your hot kettle on it or your hot pan on it, whatever. There's something about hearts that always sell really, really well at auction. If you've got little silver hearts or little brass hearts, they always do really well. It's just delightful, and for 15 quid, I don't think I can go wrong with that.
Christina's got that loving feeling for the heart-shaped pan stand. Meanwhile, Charles is, well, nowhere to be seen, actually. Charles!
Thanks, Pete. Just been to the loo.
TMI.
It's great. Just one thing.
Yes.
There's something in your loo I'd like to buy.
Seriously?
Yeah, it's all okay.
Take a deep breath.
Just by the loo, I found this old tin plate sign. I mean, it's just quite fun because it's so tired, but then quite a nice decorative sign. And it probably is 1920s. What's the very best on it?
Hit me an offer.
Couple of quid?
No, a serious offer, child.
£5?
Double it.
A tenner?
Sold.
Really? Well, I came to the loo. It wasn't a number 2, but for a tenner, I'll take it. There we go.
Lavatorial humour, I'd say. Charles came in to spend a penny, but he spent a tenner on a sign instead. He also bought the teapot for £18 and the carved Chinese dog for 16. Those prices have put a smile on his face like an auction house assassin. Christina's still exploring her emporium of antique delights.
Lots of sofas, my goodness. Oh, look at that. That is exquisite. 1930s dress. Oh, that is beautiful.
Here she comes. Careful now.
Okey-dokey. This is in extraordinarily good condition. There is a little bit of beading loss to here, but nothing that couldn't be fixed. I think that is just beautiful. And what's really nice is that you've actually got a dress underneath, and then this appears to be a little jacket or top that would have gone over the top. I think it has been slightly altered, but the fact that it's in such good condition, absolutely beautiful. And I think to a vintage costume collector would be a real find.
The ticket price is £45.
Like that. Right.
Why not dance on over to Owner Cherry and see if a deal can be struck on the dress, the table and the trivet?
What can we do as a total for the three things?
60?
£60 for the three? Oh, Cherry, absolutely.
Yeah.
Sounds very fair to me.
All right.
£60, 20.
I should have gone a bit higher, shouldn't I?
No.
Thank you very much.
£60.
She's waltzing off with a bargain. Christina has bought the silk dress for £25, the peacock table for 20, and the brass trivet for 15. How beautiful is that? It's so beautiful. I could cry. Meanwhile, Charles has made his way to Leeds city centre. He's visiting the Thackeray Medical Museum, which is located in an old hospital. The museum is dedicated to chronicling advancements in healthcare. Hey, maybe you could get that ingrown toenail dealt with, Carlos. Charles is meeting assistant curator Laura Sellers.
How big is it, the museum?
This museum has probably about 50,000 objects, about 10,000 books, about 15,000 trade catalogues. So it's quite a large collection.
So I'm in safe hands if I fell ill or something like that.
Only if you want the Victorian treatment.
Oh, maybe not. The museum is named after Charles Thackeray, a local pharmacist who opened a corner shop in 1902. He could hardly have foreseen that in less than half a century it would grow into one of Britain's foremost medical supply companies.
But I'm here for one purpose, aren't I?
Yep, we're here to show you some of our hearing collection.
What are you saying? No, it's a joke. Sorry. Well, here we are. I'll move on. Say it again.
So we're here to show you some of our hearing collection.
Sounds amazing.
Ah, Charlie, if laughter is the best medicine, I wouldn't want you as my doctor. Laura, with the rubber gloves, is taking Charles to the museum archive to see its collection of antique hearing aids. I beg your pardon?
Oh, wow.
The collection is one of the largest in the world. I'm sure Laura will forgive my blowing the museum's trumpet.
So this is a collapsible hearing trumpet. So you can see it folds in, so the sound's collected in here, and the ears goes at this end. So you can direct it in the person you want to listen to, or direct it away from the person that you don't want to listen to.
Wowee.
The ear trumpet was at the forefront of medical science for the hard of hearing in Victorian Britain. The cone collected sound waves and amplified and funneled them towards the eardrum. The trumpets were made in a variety of styles and materials, such as silver, tin and copper.
This one was used in hospitals, so if you went in and you had hearing loss, they might loan you this so that you could hear.
It was in the ear, wasn't it?
Yep, straight into the ear and direct it at the thing you want to listen
So
to.
if you're talking to me like that?
Yep. More.
Charles is under doctor's orders, or rather Laura's, not to put the trumpet in his ear, as its amplification could damage his eardrum.
Even though it's not on my ear, I can actually hear.
To amplify. It's really simple and it really works.
They may have worked, but they weren't exactly something you could stick in your pocket.
Perhaps a slightly more subtle way of carrying your hearing aid with you. In this one, it did have an earpiece here, sound directed there, so you can use it as a walking stick as you're travelling around, but you can also hold it up to your ear in conversation.
Me.
So this was when they were out and about but needed to
It's
amplify
amazing.
Discreet trumpets weren't made just for dapper gents. Oh no.
sound. So this one's a morning bonnet.
Golly.
So it probably sits on top of the head flat like that, and then the earpiece comes down the side of the head into the ear, and then the ribbons are tied around the back in the way that ladies' hats were. But if you look at the front, there's a hole there in the cone. So the sound is collected in that. That's sat on the front of your head at the top. So the sound is collected there, then comes down the earpiece into your ear.
So if I was with you on a night out, this could be your
Yep.
way of hearing, but I could also be in disguise by wearing a beard.
You could wear a beard.
So ears in there, and if I grew or stuck on a fake beard,
Yep.
I would then be able to cover my sounding board there.
Yep.
and
Exactly
listen
right.
in.
Yep.
Amazing. So hold on, let's talk to me again.
Hello, can you hear me?
Say again.
Can you hear me?
I don't think it works, but I might be wrong.
There's nothing discreet about this silver-plated trumpet, with its intricate and ornate design and carvings.
Reportedly, this is Queen Victoria's hearing dome.
It's not.
Apparently so.
To imagine that that was in Queen Victoria's ear is quite breathtaking.
Yeah.
Because of that history of narrative of a right regal lady. Wow.
Charles has finished his visit to this museum with a right royal fanfare. With her first purchases in the boot, Christina's competitive streak is kicking in.
Charles and I have been good friends for 15 years, I suppose, but we are probably the most competitive people that each other has ever met. And we're also both very ambitious. So if I were to say that I didn't want to win, I would be lying to myself. And Charles knows that. He knows me too well to know that I will be fairly peeved off if I lose.
That's her polite way of saying she'll be a raging inferno of fury.
Oh, look at that!
What?
Look at that! It's a viaduct or an aqueduct or a...
Where?
Well, big fancy bridge.
She's almost had me keeling over.
That's beautiful.
Yep, it's the stunning Wharfdale Viaduct. Christina is making her way to Horsforth in West Yorkshire. Tucked away at the back of a garden centre behind the lush verdure and flora, I do enjoy a bit of flowery language, you know, is the endearingly named Posh Tat Salvage Yard.
Oof. That looks good, doesn't it? Tastes back to my school days.
Very rah-rah jolly hockey sticks, I'm sure.
It's fairly vicious, isn't it? Might need that. Beat Charles into submission.
Told you. Raging inferno of fury. Ah, here you'll find all sorts of quirky reclamation, retro and vintage items. Oh, look! She's found an ear trumpet. Oh, maybe not.
Do you know, there's a great selection here, but there's nothing here that really excites me and that I can see any kind of potential profit in. So, do you know what? I'm feeling confident. I've got 3 things under my belt. Got quite a good budget left. So I think I'm just going to keep my powder dry and hope that tomorrow brings some new treasures.
Yup. They've had a right hard day, all right. Antiquing round Yorkshire. Their minds, though, are turning towards dinner, or as they say round these parts, tea.
I think today I'm turning the holes.
I think I'm a toad in the hole today.
Let's go for a carvery, turn the holes too.
Okay.
Sounds delicious. Nighty-night. It's a new dawn, a new day, and the same cheery faces.
I've got a bit of a confession to make. I'm not loving the car.
How can you not love this car?
The steering is so heavy.
Look at the Colorado yellow. This is the American dream.
I will try and fall in love with this a little bit more, I promise. I will.
It was love at first sight, however, for her buys. Christina spent a total of £60 on 3 items. A 1930s silk dress,
That is exquisite.
a carved peacock table, and a heart-shaped brass pan stand, leaving her with just under £95. Charles purchased a carved dog, a teapot, and when he went to spend a penny, he discovered a hidden gem, an enamelled sign.
I came to the loo. It wasn't a number 2.
He spent £44 in total, leaving him just under £70.
Talking my little doggy purchase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's this?
You know, I look at the dog, I look at you.
Right.
I'm not being funny, but if you could be any dog, what would you be?
Oh, that's a good question.
I think you'd be a Rottweiler. No, I do. I think you'd be a Rottweiler.
I'm not a Rottweiler.
No, I think you'd be a Rottweiler.
Why do you think I'm a Rottweiler?
I know you too well.
As for Charles, I'd say he's a cockapoo. Their road trip through the historic county of Yorkshire continues. After dropping Christina off, Charles is winding his way to the village of Oulton. Yeah, that shrub could do with a trim. That's better. Don't tell the council we did that. Charles is here to scour an antique shop that stocks an eclectic mix of vintage collectibles and curios. Go, boy.
Vintage luggage, always a popular seller. What do you think?
You look like Elvis's granny.
Maybe not.
Is there anything here that'll get him all shook up?
That's nice. God, if only I could afford this. Beautiful, what we call a noggin, or a whiskey noggin. It's basically a little whiskey measure with a hinged lid and the date code 1920. Very high class. But that's very nice. But again, unfortunately, it's priced at £120, so it's hands off, Charles. He can't afford me.
He's right. I know he enjoys a stiff one, but that's almost double his £67 budget.
This I like. It's very tired, and you'll see the rust, you'll see the weathering, the damage on what would have been originally an Edwardian or late Victorian gentleman's penknife. It would have been quite high quality. Quality Hanson, and this today really counts. £12, bargain.
True. Charles likes the cut of the knife, but he's got his heart set on the whiskey noggin. Can he do a deal with dealer Amy? Stand by, Amy.
If I said to you, I would love to buy the penknife with all of its different implements, I like that. Only £12.
Yeah.
It's quite cheap.
Bagging.
Thank you. Excuse me?
Bagging.
Yeah, well, let me call that, OK? So, yeah, right, I have my jacket in a minute. I like that,
Yeah.
but I love the noggin. Here's my money. I have got £67.52, OK?
Yeah.
Look at the money. Look at me. Money, me, OK? Now, the whiskey noggin and the penknife for £67.52. You're worth it. What do you think?
Should we ask the boss?
Is that not you?
Nope.
Who's the boss?
There she is.
The lady over there? Oh,
Yeah.
she looks the boss.
Yeah.
So if she nods...
If she nods,
it's a yes. Boss?
Yeah.
Is it yes?
Yes.
Thank you. Oh, it's amazing. I will take the whole lot.
Charles's charm has worked its magic again. He's bought the penknife for its ticket price, £12, and got the whiskey noggin for a very generous £55.52p. Chin chin. Clever boy. The county of Yorkshire has certainly made its mark on history. It's famous the world over for its industry and innovations like stainless steel, the steam locomotive, and ever so tasty batter-based puddings. Christina is heading to the mill town of Starton, just outside Leeds, to learn more about the county's cutest invention, the Yorkie, or to give the pooch its full name, the Yorkshire Terrier. You'll meet no bigger fan of the Yorkie than Jan Redhead, a breeder of Croft Champion Yorkshire Terriers. It's time for Rags and his poochy pal Winnie to enjoy a walk. Look at that!
Jan, tell me what it is about these little chappies here that you love so much.
Well, firstly, I think it's the looks. I love the looks of them. They're so beautiful. They're just such characters, and they make wonderful family pets.
They're quite feisty as well, aren't they?
Yeah, they can be. But that's part and parcel of them. At the end of the day, they are terriers. They think they are a big dog in a little body.
But they're not just cute, are they, Jan?
No, they played an important part in the Industrial Revolution here in Yorkshire.
During the 18th century, Yorkshire was at the heart of the Industrial Revolution. Mills, such as this one, our museum, sprang up in once rural areas, followed by an influx of people from all over Britain to work in the new mechanised factories. One problem with this rapid population growth was rats. To combat the vermin, the mill owners needed a ferocious hunter, and so the Yorkshire Terrier was born, bred from the Scottish Terriers of the mill workers. Their small size, strong jaw and feisty nature made them ideal rat catchers.
I mean, in this mill, it would be running wick with rats at that time.
Why wouldn't they use cats?
Because in the wool mills, the cats would scratch the material and ruin it, more or less use the bales as scratching posts.
Oh, that's not good.
No.
So they needed some good ratters.
Oh, they did. I mean, they used to have competitions, and I remember seeing one, reading about one that had killed 100 rats in less than half an hour.
Oh, my goodness.
So you're never more than 10 yards away from a rat even now, are you?
Well, thank goodness we've got these guys with us.
I don't think she'd be much good. He might have a go.
He's fairly bold, isn't he?
The most famous ratter of the day was Huddersfield Ben. His exploits became so well known that he was a celebrity, appearing at dog shows all around the country. Huddersfield Ben's popularity helped turn the Yorkie into a highly sought-after household companion.
Jan, the Yorkies started their lives really in the industrial mills, the gritty north, if you like, and then they gravitated inside.
Yes, they did. They were living in cramped conditions, and they could keep these little dogs in the kitchen. They were also good for getting the mice because they had no refrigeration or anything at that time.
Mm-hmm. So it could be said that they started out as the dog of the working classes, but then over time they would go into the sort of upper echelons of society. And is it true that Queen Victoria had one?
Queen Victoria did have one, and the daughter, Princess Louise, she had one.
And so they became very fashionable dogs as well.
They did, yes.
But those original attributes, their bravery, their loyalty, their feistiness, they're still there in spades, aren't they?
Yes, they are. They're wonderful. I wouldn't want any other breed.
The sun is shining, the top is down, and at last Charles can experience the wind blowing through his fluffy crown. In your dreams?
I've finished. I'm really happy. I've bought all my objects. I've not got a penny to my name, and the last shop has really delivered for me 2 stunning objects. So I'm going now to meet Christina, really quite cocky.
Charles is on his way to the cathedral city of Wakefield in West Yorkshire. Where Christina has already arrived at the Old Curiosities shop with over £90 in her pocket. It's a bazaar of trinkets and curios, both antique and relatively modern. Look, there's an evil intergalactic tyrant and a model of Darth Vader too. Only joking, Christina.
The hair on the back of my neck is literally standing up. This thing is a Dalton plate. Very common for them to produce blanks, and somebody in about 1900, 1910, height of the arts and crafts period, has gone and painted this, and it's amazing. I just can't quite believe that nestled amongst all these 1970s, 1980s, 1990s and later collectibles on this shelf, there is a arts and crafts plate. The arts and crafts movement was about handmade one-off things, not about mass production. It was all about being an artisan and creating your own things. Somebody's bought a Dalton blank, they've decorated it with this really beautiful classical view of this little cherub riding this goat here. And in the auction market, so sought after. Anything arts and crafts is on fire. Oh, my heart's racing. It's beautiful.
And it gets better. Look at the price.
So, do you think it's either 50p or a pound? I'll give him a pound. Definitely give him a pound. Wow, I'm shaking. This is so beautiful. Hello, Les. How are you? You all right?
I'm very well, thank you.
Brilliant. This was on the shelves upstairs. So small plates 50p, large plates a pound.
Yes.
How much would you like for
That
it?
would be a pound then, please.
It's a pound. No problem. There we are.
Thank you very
£1.
much.
Brilliant. I'm going to keep on browsing if that's all right, Les.
No
One
problem
down.
at all.
One
Thank
to
you.
go.
That could be the best pound that Christina ever spent.
That's quite sinister, doesn't it?
Speaking of sinister, Charles has arrived.
Well, can I help find you the perfect antique?
No, definitely not.
Oh!
Just a cup of tea. A cup of tea would be lovely.
Make mine a gin and tonic.
Aha! Silver. Now, yeah, that's rather sweet, isn't it? That's very stylish. Oh, nice. George Jensen, sterling. He's very, very collectible. There is a very strong market for George Jensen pieces.
George Jensen was a fine art sculptor and became a silversmith. In the early 1900s, he combined his artistic eye with functionality and helped to popularise the Art Nouveau style. This little thing is a fine dining salt holder.
£40, that's not bad, is it, for a bit of George Jensen? Normally, George Jensen pieces are £100 and upwards. So I think that's really sweet. I like that very much.
Let's find out Leslie's best price.
What would you like to pay for it?
Oh, don't ask me questions like that, Les.
Yeah, this is where it all comes down to.
What would you be happy with?
I'd be happy with 30.
30?
Yeah.
I'm happy with 30 if you're happy with 30, Les.
Over the moon with 30.
So, Christina has made her final two purchases, the Arts and Crafts plate and the George Jensen salt holder.
Now, I think with that amazing plate, you should give me a big jig for joy.
A jig for joy. What's a jig for joy?
Watch. 3, 2, 1, jig for joy.
Oh, a jig for joy. Oh, I like jigging for joy.
Hey, look, they're getting right jiggly with it. Silly beasts. The only thing brighter than the sun in the sky is Charles and Christina's sunny disposition. Who writes this stuff?
Have you spoken to the auction house?
I just go with what I believe in. Have you phoned the auction house?
Yes.
What do they say?
It's a specialist maritime auction.
You are joking.
No.
A specialist maritime auction.
Yeah.
And I bought a dog and some other bits which will drown. Are you being serious?
No.
Oh my Christina. Honestly, I just having.
Why would I have bought a wedding dress if it was a specialist maritime auction, you big loon?
All I know is we're going north, but my profits are going south.
Sleep tight, you two. It's auction day, and we're in the heart of North Yorkshire in the market town of Bedale to see if Charles and Christina can turn a profit on their curios and artefacts when they go under the hammer. Come on, Ducky.
Here we go.
Turn right, turn right. The sun's
That way.
No, right, Christina.
Oh, sorry.
Shake a leg, you two. Our intrepid antiqueurs began their trip in Cleckheaton, and the B-roads and byways of Yorkshire have brought them to the market town of Bedale. Today's auction is being held by M.W. Darwin & Sons. On this leg, Christina bought 5 lots for £91.
Sometimes you find a bit of treasure in the cell room, and this, Christina, is one of yours. Hold tight hands, and this could even hit £100. So, in fact, I'm very nervous. Shame I can't break it, really. Sorry.
You break it, you buy it, Carlos. He bought 5 items for the princely sum of £111.52p.
There is a market at auction at the moment that is absolutely on fire, and that is enamelled signs. So I cannot believe that Charles Hanson has managed to buy an enamel sign for £10. Having said that, there isn't any internet bidding here, so it'll be interesting to see what happens.
28,
28.
Today's auctioneer is Michael Darwin. Let's get his expert opinion on our duo's objet d'art.
The silver salt, we don't have much of this Danish silver around here. There's been a bit of interest in it. We've got a lot of silver in the sale today, so we'll see how we go. The whiskey noggin is a good quality piece. The condition of it is such that it looks as though it's hardly ever been used. I've not seen one in that good condition before. I think it'll do very well. There's been a lot of interest in it.
Bidders are poised, numbers at the ready, in the room and on the phone. Come on, you two, sit down and stop blocking the view.
Oh, wow. It's like going back in time, isn't it?
Oh, it is a bit, yeah.
It's very traditional.
First up, Christina's carved peacock table.
I wonder all those years ago, would it have been flat packed?
£30.
No!
£30 then, the peacock table.
Funny
Come
things.
on.
Come on.
£30.
Beautiful table.
At £20 only bid,
At
only
£20.
bid 5 anywhere. I'm selling them
Second
at 20.
time.
One only bid, you ordered at 22.
Oh, you've done it!
You've done it! Going at 25.
£5 profit. That's a feather in her cap, all right.
Well done. You know, humble peacocks.
a miracle.
Ruffled and ruffled this crowd.
But will Charles be as proud as a peacock with his enamelled sign?
Yes.
I love it.
Yes.
Enamel
I love
signs
it.
are
Cost
amazing.
£10.
Fiver. 5, 6, 7, 8. No, he said. That's £7 bid, 8 anywhere. 8 upstairs. 9, 10. 12, 14. I'm selling them at 12, you're done.
First lots both sold for profits. But Charles is a little behind.
On the loo, answering nature's call and always keep my mind focused on antiques. And there it was.
Next up, Christina's heart-shaped brass pan stand, otherwise known as a trivet.
This trivet captures, I would say, that cottage, rustic home of Yorkshire.
Exactly.
Inspiring by.
Oh,
6, 7,
a man with
8,
taste.
9, 10, 12,
Brilliant.
14. Selling at 14.
She had high hopes, but now, Brastorff?
My heart's definitely not in it.
Is there money to be made from Charles's penknife?
Living on the edge, Charlie.
Exactly.
Living on a knife edge.
Exactly.
£5 bid, 6 bid, 6, 7 anywhere, 7 bid, 8 bid,
Goodness
9.
me, it's a good
I'm
thing,
out
this.
at 9. I'm selling them at 9. You ordered at 9.
Ah, just didn't cut it, eh? But someone's bagged a bargain.
The buyer's here who bought the penknife as well.
Well done.
Thanks for coming. Brilliant. Yeah, hold on. It is brilliant.
Yeah.
You had a bargain. Look. Ow, that's a foam handshake.
Will this wedding dress be the money maker Christina hopes?
I'm looking for some young brides in here. Brides to be.
Yes.
Getting married.
Yes.
I can't see any at all.
No.
£30 the dress.
Worth
£30.
this.
£30.
You are
bid,
in
Dan.
profit. She's
At
getting married.
£30. At £30.
Come on,
only bid,
room.
2. I'm selling at 30.
Oh.
32. Fresh bidder. 35. 38.
Oh.
You sure?
No,
Go out
come on,
tonight.
it's beautiful.
I'm selling at 35.
It's a big day for the dress, all right.
Long may we wed our road together.
Yes, indeed.
Charles needs his next item, the repaired teapot, to find a profit.
This is a humble object.
It's not a humble object, it's just good.
£30, £20, £20,
£250.
£20, tenner, 10 bid, 12 bid, 14,
I'd bid on it,
16,
Charlie, if I could. I would.
at
Honestly, I
£14
would.
only bid, at 14, 16, 18, 20, 2, 24, 26,
Yeah, that's enough
at
now.
£24 bid,
Plenty now.
6 any. I'm selling at 24.
He's got this down to a T, you know.
Milk and 2 sugar. Thank you very much.
Next lot is Christina's silver salt holder.
Where do you get a piece of George Jensen for £30?
It must be worth double that.
£20 bid, 2 anywhere, 22, 25,
Smoothing.
28, 35, 38, 40, 2, I'm out.
£42.
At 42, ordered at 42.
That was worth its weight in salt, all right.
Yeah,
Well played, partner.
thanks. Put it there.
Right, well, a little small one, you know.
Oh, God, you are a bit clammy. I'm so nervous.
Yeah, chillax, as the young folks say today, Charles. Just like your Oriental carved dog.
This dog is tiny, but it's so beautifully carved. It's not signed, but I just think it's full of Eastern promise.
Oh.
At £10 only bid, 12 bid, 14, 16,
14, come on.
18, 20,
Come on, keep going.
2, 24, at £22 upstairs,
Brilliant.
4 anyway.
wow.
At £22 bid, I'm certain 24,
Oh,
26,
Keep going.
Keep going.
28,
Oh.
32, 34.
Go on, doubled up.
At £34 bid.
Yeah, doubled up.
Going then at 34.
Woof, woof. That's a pedigree profit.
Oh, you are
Sorry.
barking mad.
I am barking mad. Sorry, sir.
It's time for the lot Charles fears, Christina's Arts and Crafts plate.
You know, sometimes you get a nervous twitch because something might do really, really well, and it's like wakey, wakey, I'm alive and I've been found. This is a plate.
I've got interest in this,
Hold tight.
and I've £25 bid, 8 anyway. 28, 30, 32, 35.
Christina,
38,
take a
40,
bow.
2, at £40 with me.
That's wonderful.
I'm selling then at 40.
Christina's served up a winner, all right, on a plate.
Like a roaring goat, it was. It roars.
Like a roaring goat.
Highland goat, well, again.
A bleating goat.
Fleeting goats.
Bleating.
Fleeting. Sort of bleating. Yeah. Yeah.
It's the final lot, the whiskey noggin.
You a G&T girl or more of a...
More of a G&T girl,
Okay,
yeah.
I thought so. There's a phone bid. He's on the phone.
There we are, your lords. £60 bid, thank you.
Come on.
£60 only bid. 5, 70, 5,
Keep going.
80, 5, 90,
No.
5,
Make it a ton.
100,
100.
105, fresh bidder, 110, 115,
Have a drink.
120, 5,
I do need a
at
drink.
£130.
No, this is ridiculous.
Take a chance.
Charles,
Have a stiff one. Have a stiff one.
Selling then at 130.
I'm back.
he's back.
Hanson's back.
Ooh.
3 cheers for Charles and the biggest moneymaker of the day.
It's been a journey, Christina.
It has been a journey.
And the journey continues.
Onwards and upwards, come on.
Follow me.
All righty, let's go.
Has the whopping profit on the whiskey noggin made Charles today's top dog? Christina started with £154.16p in her bank. After auction costs, she's made a profit of just under £40, taking her total to £191.8p. Well done, girl. Charles began the day with just over £110. After auction costs have been deducted from those profits, his little piggy now has a total of just over £171.
Charlie, you are right behind me. You're catching my heel.
I'm on your tail now, Christina.
Yeah, you are. It's worrying. Very well done.
Thank you very much.
Very, very welcome. Come on.
Farewell, road trippers, until we meet again. Next time, another treasure hunting.
It's like an Aladdin's cave.
Iron pumping.
10 kilograms, quite heavy, isn't it?
Bullseye hitting.
Loose.
Road trip.
Get your hand off my gear stick. Get your hand off the gear stick.